What's going on, everyone? So I'm still here, alive and kicking from my last controversial video on the Black Lives Matter movement. I knew going into that video and uploading it that's going to piss some people off, and I did. I think I lost like 10 subscribers or something, but I'm not too worried about that. Anyway, today's video, I wanted to talk about the dangers of censorship, and I've spoken about censorship quite a bit, but I wanted to delve a little bit more into it, talk about some things. So, um, when I did the video yesterday, or a couple days ago, I don't know when I'm gonna get this video on the Black Lives Matter, one person was offended, or a few people were offended, but one of the persons that commented said that the video is not a good idea, you should take it down, blah, 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 blah. They were pissed, and I said, absolutely not. This is my First Amendment. I'm exercising my First Amendment rights, and I live in America. Our forefathers and past soldiers and military shed blood and fought for our freedom, and I take freedom very, very seriously. And the more that it's being stripped away, the more I want to hold on to it, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, despite knowing that I might get some heat, some backlash, and some downright. I mean, I'm being called a racist, which is furthest from the truth. Excuse me. Anyway, I think it's a small price to pay because I am pretty thick-skinned. I've always, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. But I've always been one to basically, if it doesn't make sense, I need for it to make sense. And the Black Lives Matter movement, though, it is helping. It will help for police reform. I think overall it goes much more beyond that, which I discussed in the other video. But most people don't have the attention span unless there's like bullet points, and unless it's like very sexy bullet points, or unless I'm wearing a funny wig and screaming my head off. And that's not my style. Unless I'm doing that to draw attention, people are not going to watch the video. People only watch like 4 minutes of the video, but maybe some of that is my fault, because if I know I only have 4 or 5 minutes of the video, I need to grab your attention. Nonetheless, maybe I'm more suited to be on more of a long form podcast style, but I digress, and we'll worry about that. But anyway, this whole censorship, it just clearly shows you that it's not just what the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all the other social media, because they're basically controlling what gets filtered, and they can just omit stuff if they want. It goes beyond that. I'm talking about censorship that is being indirectly caused from the censorship, and it causes this negative domino effect. Take, for instance, I did the video on the Black Lives Matter movement. There were some people that commented, but I do understand, that there are some people that probably may have wanted to say a little bit more, but they are worried about risking their job, and that's totally understandable. But not even just your job, but if you don't, okay, like I'll put it this way. I consider myself in the minority right now. I live in the most bluest state. I live in California, Democrat to the fullest. People, everyone on my Facebook feed is just, they're predominantly, their political views are on the left, and which is fine as long as people are respectful. But I'm constantly being reminded of, I hate Trump, I hate this, BLM to the fullest, and I went against the grain. And when you go against the grain, you need to understand and realize that, it's not just, I'm worrying about losing my job, which is catastrophic, but it's also, you might lose some friends. There's people in the comment section. I've been watching various videos on YouTube, various political topics, and a lot of people in the comment section were saying, yeah, I had a friend for 20 years and it's just got severed. I have another buddy who doesn't even talk to his sister, and that seems severe. But things like this happen, so you need to, I should probably take my own advice, you need to be aware that when you do talk about sensitive topics, that it can affect other people, and you can't be too selfish and short-sighted. Because, for instance, if you say something and then maybe uh, you have a spouse, and then somehow that's spouse is friends with you. You know, with Facebook, it's like everyone knows everyone. You know, so the way it links together, somehow it just gets through this channel. This channel ends up going to like my wife or something, and then she starts getting hatred. These are types of things that I don't want. I can take any criticism, you bring it my way, but things like this can happen. There are a lot of crazy people out there, so you got to pick and choose your battles. Why did I decide to do it? Like I said, I believe in the First Amendment, and I feel like this is a battle that is often being lost. This is cancel culture. It's like I truly believe like I didn't say anything beyond offensive in the video. I really didn't. I even got like halfway through. If you got to that video, most people didn't. I actually got emotional, just overcharged from just the injustice of just everything, and how this thing's all effed up, and it was real emotion. But I'm deemed a racist all of a sudden. Doesn't make sense. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, you know, the other thing I want to say is one of the things that I do worry about is, even if there's like, I think there's a lot of silent people who do maybe not completely agree with me, but they have, uh, they're tired of hearing how blacks are suppressed, and you know, whites are always being called out for white privilege, and a lot of whites are on pins and needles, and I think a lot of whites are kind of getting tired of course they didn't want George Floyd to die, but they're tired of being forced to go on their knees and bowing and saying they want reparations. And you know, being racist is not just towards blacks. It works both ways. It works towards all races. So you know, there's some people that are fed up, but the moment you say anything about blacks in any manner, it can come back as racist, as backlash. I mean, they called me a racist. Like I'm not a racist at all. You know, I actually find it pretty offensive and racist in itself that, you know, a lot of times the person that always calls everyone else a racist for nothing, it's like they don't agree with your view, and then you're just deemed a racist. It's like a shouting match, and it's really frustrating because if you compare, if you go on like go on YouTube and watch old debates from back in the 80s, yes, you would have disagreements, but there was civil discourse. You were able to have an open discussion. One person talked, other person talk, and then now with the internet, and because you know these people posting are strangers and they can hide behind a computer, the floodgates are open. They just come in with the boxing gloves left and right, and they're just hitting you with a low blow by any means. Like I said, I'm the one that put the video out. I'm the one that made it public, so I'm not gonna whine and complain about it. This is some serious crap we're talking about, but it's frustrating when, I think the frustrating thing is not when a person disagrees, it's when there's just no logic behind it. Real quick before I depart, even on my personal Facebook, this is what started. I commented on something, and this guy, he copy and pasted. I think it was from like the Guardian and different newspaper clips or whatever feeds. He posted, I don't know who it was from, like a black activist, 9 different slides, like little paragraphs. Out of respect, I read the whole thing, and I countered all 9 of the slides. And I even told him, I says, we can have a discussion as long as we keep it civil. And of the 9 slides, as I call it, I agreed with about maybe 2 of them, 2.5, so not too many, but I did acknowledge certain things. But on 7 of them, I just said, no, I don't agree with it. It's just wrong. And what does he do in response? Turns it on me. You're a racist. It's like I gave him respect to read exactly what it is. He had zero counterpoints to anything I had to say, flying off the handle. And I understand that some people are just emotional thinkers. I do get emotional at times, but in a debate, I'm more of a logical thinker. Ben Shapiro says facts over feelings, and I know that can come off as stoic and emotionless, and I don't tend to do that. But I'm not here. I'm not here to discuss these I'm discussing these topics to get to the bottom of things, trying to find solutions. I'm not here to make a best friend. I do respect all the. I'm here to have an adult conversation. If you can't handle the adult conversation and you want to pout and stuff, then go ahead. If you want to expand your mind, get a different viewpoint, I'm open to it. If I'm open to it, you should be open to it. But if you're not open to it, then there's no point. And it's partially probably my fault. So that's what I talked to my wife about it. She says, you can't change people's minds. Some people, they're just set in their ways, and I don't want to be that person that says, I told you so, I told you so. But with this Black Lives Matter movement, will there be some police reform? Yes, and there's going to be some positivity. I probably should have emphasized that a little bit more in the video. But as far as the inner city problems amongst the black community, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it getting any better. The number of unarmed black men that died last year from white cops was 9. Will it go down probably next year? It probably will, which is a step in the huge direction. Will it get to 0 with the mass society of 327 million? I don't think so. Maybe it'll get down to 5, 4, 3, and that would be a significant win. But at what cost? With the rioting and all these people, black on black crime happening during the riots, people are dying. So I don't really see it as a win-win situation. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, so that's my time. Just be very cautious about what you say, and if you feel like saying something, you definitely can, but it's a little bit scary because I think there's like I said, a lot of silent people that feel a certain way but are scared to lose their job, lose their friendships, and just to get publicly humiliated because there's just something called a mob mentality, and they're like vultures. When they see someone and they don't agree with them and they got a bunch of people, they will thumb up their comments, they will come after you like vultures, and they will just start pouncing on you. But me, I 100%, like, will it bother me a little bit? Yeah, probably, but I don't care because if I hit them with facts, I'm not gonna back down. So I'm just not. And if they counter a question, I re-counter a question, and they don't have a valid response, they start name calling, discussion is over. Discussion is over. You want to remain ignorant your whole life? Go ahead. You don't want to remain ignorant? Go ahead. You don't want to stretch your brain? You don't want to challenge and bring in new ideas? You want to remain stagnant in your mental capacity? Go ahead. So be it. I'm not going to be the one that says I told you so. And I'm not an elitist. I don't know everything. I don't even claim to know everything at all. But I am a learner. I am inquisitive. I try to let logic dictate where my arguments go. That's it. Talk to you later. Bye.